welcome to From the Top Rope, episode 10. I think this is episode 10 at least. I am your host, Robbie Fox. With me is my co-host, tag team partner, Jared Carrabis, and we got a stacked show for you today.
Stacked.
Two of our biggest guests ever. I know we say we have a stacked show every week, but this one is really, really big. We have the Bella Twins on the show.
I was nervous for you. Because I didn't know if you were going to... This is like your first big time interview. I didn't know if you were going to choke up a little bit. You handled yourself really well.
I know. It was like we had Cody Rhodes, we had Kevin Owens, but I knew them
You
before.
knew those guys, yeah.
They're like my buddies. So it didn't feel big time. It just felt like I was talking to one of my friends. The Bella Twins, I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Stars of Total Divas, Total Bellas, the Bella Twins on YouTube. One of them's married to Daniel Bryan, my favorite of all time. One of them's about to marry John Cena, who's probably in my top 3 favorite of all time. It was just like Nikki Bella, I'm a giant fan of. Big fan of Brie Bella too, but I mean, I literally named Nikki Bella's finisher, and you'll hear about that later in the show. Right now, what you can do is you can go on iTunes. If you're listening on iTunes, you got to leave us a fucking 5-star review. I need that 5-star review more than I need air to breathe. You need to leave us a funny review, too, and you need to tweet it at us at From the Top, or direct message it on Instagram at From the Top. You need to follow both of those accounts as well, because we need to grow. If you want us to get guests like the Bella Twins or the big guest we have next week, which we already recorded, that's in the fucking can.
Yeah.
You need to leave us those fucking reviews.
It's a big league
You go on
there,
Spotify,
Bob.
you go on Stitcher, you do whatever the fuck you need to do, and you help us grow. Because that's why we're the best.
In the world.
That was
what we do.
That was my attempt at a promo.
That was good.
Pretty good.
Solid.
You think if I cut that in the Performance Center at a tryout, they would hire me?
I think that they would consider.
Maybe as a manager.
Would it be a slam dunk?
They would look at my body type and be like, the fuck is this guy? What is he even doing? So first off, we gotta lead the entire podcast off with some kind of shitty news. Ric Flair had some trouble this week.
Yeah, you had mentioned that to me, and at first I was like, okay, he's just hospitalized. And then you sort of get down to the details of it. It did not sound good at all. What was that? Monday? Was it Friday?
No, I think it was on Monday.
It was Monday?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Monday. But he did have surgery, right?
Yeah, he had surgery. It was originally reported as colon surgery by Bob Backlund, I think, and then his family has come out and said it's not colon surgery. We don't want to talk about what kind of surgery it is. If I had to guess, it would be heart surgery.
Yeah,
he
that's what I
talked in
thought
his
it was.
autobiography about how he had alcoholic, like cardiovascular issues or something like that.
Yeah.
And that he has been in the news a lot recently, like Ric Flair taken out and thrown out of bar. So he's obviously very old. I think he's 68 years old. It's shitty news. We're hoping Rick pulls through. He's still in critical condition as we record this at 9:52 a.m. on Wednesday. But obviously rooting for Rick. I spent some time with Rick in September, and it was an awesome time. I'll tell that full story one day. I kind of told it on the blog before, but yeah, just best wishes to Rick, 16-time world champ, the Nature Boy.
Let's go, Rick. Pull through, Rick.
Fucking kick at it too, Rick. Come on. And then moving on to the wrestling news. This was a great week for wrestling, Jared, because we started this show. We said we're going to be positive. Now people chirp us all the fucking time, and they're like, you're not positive enough. You said you would be positive.
What have we been overly negative about?
I don't fucking know, dude. The Twitter eggs come at us, and they're like, you guys are the most negative people ever. Every time we criticize anything, they're like, give it time. Just give it time. It's like we're trying to give gender time. We've gave him how many months now?
I'm not down on gender. It doesn't do it for me.
I'm down on gender.
Yeah, I don't think it's like, oh, they need to do something about this immediately. This is a catastrophic error that they've made.
Hey, I thought they were going to do something about it last night. A little tease to later in the show. We'll talk about SmackDown, but right now we're talking about New Japan's G1 Climax.
Yeah.
I made Jared watch the matches. Made him watch the semifinals of the A block and the B block. Omega versus Okada 3, Naito versus Tanahashi, and then the final, Omega versus Naito. Fucking incredible wrestling all around.
Yeah, so obviously if you're listening to this right now, you get the expert point of view from Octagon Bob, but for me, you get the casual fan point of view, someone who's just picking up New Japan Pro Wrestling. And for me, as someone who's conditioned to really only know the WWE style of professional wrestling, I watch New Japan Pro Wrestling and I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is, I mean, it's incredible because as I'm getting used to it and getting used to the names and the characters, I don't know, especially because the commentary's in Japanese. I don't know what their finishers are. These dudes are whipping out fucking 5, 6, 7 moves per match that I'm like, that's got to be his finisher. And then it's not. And then it's not. And I saw this one thing, I think it was in the final. I think it was like Kenny Omega goes to like powerbomb Naito off the top rope, and then Naito turns it into a fucking Hurricane Rana in midair. Like, and that wasn't even the finish.
No, was like, not the finish.
I was like, what the fuck is happening? Yeah, there was. I mean, you need to. I admittedly did not watch Naito's semifinal match. I watched Kenny Omega and what's the other guy? Okada, yeah. I've watched all 3 of their matches, and thinking to like Dave Meltzer's scale of grading a match, I'm like, how is it not 5 stars every single time these two guys get in the ring with each other?
It is absolutely fucking unbelievable how good all 3 matches have been, and this match was so cool because it didn't feel as like personal as the other 2 because it wasn't for the title. You know, the IWGP Championship was not on the line. This was just a semifinal to make it into the final of the G1 Climax, which in New Japan, if you win the G1 Climax, it's basically a mix between Money in the Bank and Royal Rumble in the sense that you get to main event Wrestle Kingdom that year. So you get that, but you also carry around a briefcase until then. And if you lose a match, that briefcase is fucking gone.
He can't lose up until Wrestle Kingdom. Which is in January?
January 4th.
That's not soon.
It's not soon at all. So he has to fucking continue that reign of dominance until then. Naito won the G1. I'm not stoked about that. Okay, so I am stoked about it because I think this means we're going to get Kenny Omega versus Kota Ibushi at Wrestle Kingdom. Or Kenny Omega versus Cody Rhodes. Both matches I would fucking kill to see. I think they would both be awesome, awesome matches. As someone that, all right, fuck it. We'll make the announcement right now.
Oh, boy.
As 2 people that are going to be at Wrestle Kingdom this year, I would much rather see Kenny Omega beat Okada for the title, finally.
Can you provide some context here that we haven't even asked yet? You're just assuming that we're going.
That's a big announcement. We are going to Wrestle Kingdom this year in Japan. I walked up to Jared the other day, and I said, how would you feel about going to Japan? And he was like, he looked at me with these fucking puppy dog eyes, this child that can't walk down the street in New York without getting lost. And he goes, what would I eat?
I'm serious. Like, what, like in Japan, like what do they have American food there?
Yeah, they got TGI Fridays, they got McDonald's, they got the fucking Ribera Steakhouse. We got to get our Ribera Steakhouse jackets.
I don't know what that means.
Come on, man. That's like the most famous wrestling thing in the world.
Is it?
The jackets, the like colorful satin jackets you get at the steakhouse, it means you're a fucking worker, man.
Gotcha.
So we're going to go get some jackets. We haven't been asking like Portnoy or Erica, our bosses, if we can do this. We just decided we're going. And we're going to film a bunch of videos. We're going to meet up with Cody Rhodes, the Young Bucks, fucking Kenny Omega. Maybe we'll get in the ring. Probably not. But we'll be in Japan. Going back to the Omega-Okada match for a second. This was the 3rd match in the trilogy, and it was so fucking well structured in the sense that Okada got up in the beginning. Kenny Omega got up for a large portion of the match where he did a reverse Hurricane Rana, like a reverse Rana on the outside, spiked Okada on his head. They had like the doctors checking on him. Kenny Omega was like, I don't give a fuck. Threw him onto the apron, hit him with a Snapdragon suplex on the apron, like murdered his neck that was taped up in the beginning of the match. And then Okada
literally though, like there was a part where like, he threw him against the gate on the outside. And I was like, that. Like, how do you can't fake that?
No.
Like, if there's obviously like the wrestling is fake crowd out there. Watch some of these fucking matches. Like these guys are literally smashing each other, dropping each other on their heads and their necks. It's insane.
Yeah, and sometimes that is an issue when you look at Shibata, who made his return to the ring during this show, not wrestling at all, but he got injured really bad from a legit fucking headbutt that he hit on Okada in April and almost died. He had a brain bleed. And then he came back into the ring and just said, I'm alive, that's all. And I cried when it happened.
You're a crier, Bob.
I'm such a crier, dude. I'm so emotional. Wrestling makes me cry so fucking often. It's really an issue. But I got to say something that Dave Meltzer already said, and this is huge coming from me. This is about the biggest compliment I can pay these 3 matches. I said it after the second match. I said if the third match is half as good as these 2, which it was. I think this match was as good as the Tokyo Dome match. Maybe a little, I would put it a little behind the Tokyo Dome match, but the middle draw is my favorite. This is a better trilogy than Ric Flair versus Ricky Steamboat. This is my favorite trilogy of matches in pro wrestling history, I think.
Strong.
Yeah.
Strong take.
And that's like going against like Flair and Steamboat. That's going against Austin and Rock obviously had 1,000 matches. I would consider their trilogy the WrestleMania matches.
Yeah.
I love their WrestleMania matches. I'm not the biggest fan of the WrestleMania 17 finish, which is like really hinders that match for me. WrestleMania 19 I think is the best match they've ever had. I fucking adore that match, but this fucking trilogy is like, if you are a pro wrestling fan and if you're like one of those, I just watched WWE, this, that, I know we're trying to get you into it, and maybe you're like, I'm not really interested. These are must-watch matches.
Yes.
Absolute, like, you're doing yourself a disservice if you're not watching these 3 matches. And watch them in order, because they really do build upon themselves like a movie trilogy would.
That's your homework for this weekend. You don't have anything to do on Saturday. You're just going to be sitting there, probably sitting on your couch, maybe having a couple beers. Pull up your laptop, look them up.
They're easy to find.
Yeah, they're about 40 minutes each.
Yeah.
And they're well worth the watch.
Fucking well worth the watch. So go check those out. And on to WWE this week, because WWE is closing in on their second biggest show of the year, SummerSlam. They had 2 big-time days of television. Starting off with, I'm gonna say it right now, I think my favorite segment of the week opened up Raw, and it involved my guy Seth Rollins.
You're fucking turning.
Burn it down.
You are turning. And I think that's the last thing that you're holding on to is such a petty little thing. Like his fucking entrance theme. You don't like
Dude,
it. You think
I don't want to dislike Seth Rollins. I
do.
No, I don't. But I was such a huge Seth Rollins fan.
You go out of your way to not like
Dude,
Seth Rollins.
I was, no. I was such a big fan, dude. I owned so many of his shirts. I owned his merch. I was a big fucking Shield guy. I said Seth Rollins will absolutely be the babyface breakout star of the Shield, and when they turned him heel, I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, because I think Seth Rollins is better suited as a babyface. He had his run. I supported him, even when he was champ, and people were like, he's a chicken shit champ. He's horrible. I was still like, no, he's getting there. He's good. He got injured. He came back, and he fucking sucked. And I was like, what happened there?
Was that a booking thing, though? That wasn't Seth Rollins' fault.
No, it was both. Dude, how many times do I have to tell you? Seth Rollins' psychology after the knee injury was dreadful. Like, absolutely dreadful. I couldn't watch his matches because I was like, there's no, like, I never feel bad for this guy. You need to make me feel bad for you. I just hated him in a, like, I want you to go away. Like, I don't want to watch your matches way. But he's kind of turning me back, and it does have to do with booking too. If him and Dean Ambrose win on Sunday and they're tag champs and they go on a tag run, this could fucking save Seth Rollins, both as getting over as a babyface, which he's had difficulty doing, and in ring, because he works so fucking well in a tag team. We saw it with him and Roman as tag champs. Like, his moveset, he needs that hot tag. He needs the bounce off the ropes, hit the fucking springboard knee, hit this, hit that. Go. Let Dean Ambrose do the selling. Let Dean Ambrose put together the match so he could focus on psychology, because people have gripes with Ambrose, but he is better on a basic in-ring level. Like, when it comes to, if I want to watch Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins both apply a headlock, I'm going to believe that Dean Ambrose is a lot tighter. It's just like a very fundamental thing. But what this segment was they both came out. They were talking to each other for a little bit, teasing, putting the fists in like they did for the past few weeks. Got a little angry at each other. They beat the shit out of each other. Mm-hmm. Then Cesaro and Sheamus, the tag champs, jumped them, and it was kind of Batman versus Superman-esque, where you're not a movie guy. You didn't see that. Batman and Superman fight, and then they realize,
is that Ben Affleck?
Wait a minute. We shouldn't fight. There's a fucking bad guy. We should team up, fight them. That's what the 2 brothers of the Shield did, and then they fucking put their fists in. I was watching it in the office. I popped in the office. As a guy that didn't want the Shield to get back together, I was
Shout out to the Boston crowd, by the way.
Oh, Boston crowd was awesome all night.
That was
so good.
I mean, I told you I was big wrestling fan for many years during my childhood. Stopped watching in 2003. Came back in 2011. We talked about favorite wrestlers. I was a big Kane fan.
Yep.
Left when Kane took his mask off. Came back when he put it on. Stayed ever since. And I've been to every single show in Boston since 2011. And
this was the first one you missed?
That was the first one that I missed, and it was also, I think that it had to have been the liveliest crowd that I've seen in Boston.
That's a shame. Sorry, buddy.
I know. It was a hot crowd.
Hey, we got SummerSlam on Sunday.
We
And
do have
NXT
SummerSlam.
on Saturday. We're doing a double weekend of wrestling this weekend, so we'll make up for it. This segment fucking ruled, and I'm so excited for this match on Sunday. No match on Sunday got my attention as much as this one.
Are we moving on from Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose right now?
No, not really.
Okay. Because I was going to say, what was the first thing that I said to you after that segment was over?
I don't remember.
I smell another Rollins heel turn.
Oh, yeah, you did say that, and I disagree with it.
I think
what's
the
winning,
end game here?
I think they're winning the tag team championships on Sunday.
They probably could.
And I think that match is going to be amazing.
But it's going to be a good match. But what's the end game here? Do they link up with Roman again? Or are they just going to be...
At this point, I think I would like if they did.
But
I'm such a fucking hypocrite,
you're
dude.
a flip-flopper.
But here's my thing, is I kept saying, I don't want it to happen, I don't want it to happen, I don't want it to happen. The Shield has not spent enough time apart.
It's been 4 years.
I know, but they haven't been apart. They've been
4
feuding.
years in wrestling time is like 10 years in real time.
They've been interfeuding with each other. They haven't had any time apart. All I'm saying is I thought it would be much more important if years go by, they're separated completely, and then we fucking hear Sierra, Hotel, India, Echo, Lima, Delta, Shield. That place explodes. I saw on Monday how over this was.
Yeah.
And it's one of those things where wrestling is so subjective and wrestling is so spur of the moment. I saw how over this is. You can't fucking deny the fans. The fans want it. You have to give it to them.
Yeah, it's definitely, but like you kind of you look at it from the sense that they popped big time for Rollins and Ambrose reuniting, and then like an hour later, just the mere announcing of Roman Reigns' name brings on a chorus of boos. So how are you gonna pop for Ambrose and Rollins and then just boo the shit out of Roman Reigns? Like, if you can smell a Shield reunion in the air, like, why wouldn't they pick up on that?
I'm really not sure. I would be very interested to see what the dynamic is if the Shield fully reunited. If we got all three of them.
And what is their entrance theme going to be? Because Roman took the Shield entrance.
I don't want them to come out. I don't want Seth and Dean to come out to the Shield theme on Sunday. I think really save that for the, reunite.
Yeah.
I don't want them coming out of the crowd. I don't want any of that shit. They should each get their own entrance and leave it at that. Let's be subtle for a little bit.
Yeah.
But this segment was awesome. I'll be the first one to say hand up. I was wrong.
You're fucking wrong.
The fans want the Shield reuniting.
And you saw it live. You saw it in person.
I know.
At the Garden. About how we could smell it coming. Was Vince backstage that night, do you know?
I don't know.
I mean,
probably is the Garden.
Yeah, if he was backstage, he
title
had
change and everything.
Yeah, you had to have known that this was coming.
Yeah, I guess so, man. I didn't think the crowd would be as into it as they were, and I'm happy they were.
Very into it
because Seth has been having a lot of difficulty, and this is helping him. Dean has even been getting really stale, and this is helping him. This is good for everyone involved. Mm-hmm. Another thing I was wrong about, by the way, Dolph Ziggler returned to the ring this week. I just wanted to state that on the podcast. I already said it on Twitter. I don't know. People were telling me he's retired. He's not coming back. He's got to deal with this manslaughter charge for his brother. He's got to go to court, whatever. He is being held off TV for a while. I guess he still has the personal issues. There's rumors that he's being repackaged, but they came from Brian Alvarez, who kind of throws shit at board and see what sticks. He might be repackaged. I heard when the brand split initially happened that they wanted to repackage him as more of a freestyle wrestler like he was in college, place him with Shelton Benjamin and maybe Jack Swagger. Shelton Benjamin got hurt and never signed. He didn't pass the physical, not because of steroids or anything. It was just stupid health reason. But who knows? That might happen, might not. We had a title change on Raw.
We did.
Cruiserweight title change.
You into it? You're not into it.
not really into it. So
You're so negative.
Akira Tozawa beat Neville for the Cruiserweight Championship after a great match.
This is a good match.
This was a great match, and
I don't feel
speaking of the Boston
confident
crowd,
using great match.
yeah, it was very good.
Yeah,
We'll say very good.
it's good.
The Boston crowd was awesome for it. Super into
Shout
the
out to
Cruiserweight
Boston.
match. Maybe because there weren't purple ropes.
Yes.
Could have played a factor.
Yeah, that was nice. Maybe they're finally listening to that piece of advice. Stop making it feel like it's a separate part of the show.
I got nervous when I saw the matchup screen, and they said, we're not waiting till SummerSlam. We're putting the title on the line tonight. And I'm thinking, oh, no, don't take the title off Neville. Not tonight. This is what they did with Charlotte. They had her that long reign, and then they took it off her on Raw, and it was, like, very forgettable. Bayley won on Raw. It's like, don't do this. Please don't do this.
But even if they saved the title change for SummerSlam, do you really think it would have been that big of a moment?
It would have been bigger.
Like people, I understand having Neville be built up as this big monster cruiserweight champion because it legitimizes the title and it's sort of, it builds it up for when there is finally a title change. I just don't think that the division has someone that was worthy enough to take it off of Neville. Like I didn't buy that finish.
Me too, and that's the issue. We talked about it for a long time. You said there's nobody that could beat him, and then they just beat him with somebody. And what Neville did, I wrote this in my blog, Neville made that title matter.
Yes.
The title never mattered before Neville had it, and it was one of the classic cases of people always say chicken or the egg. Does the title make the man, or does the man make the title? The man made the title for Neville.
Yep.
And I think putting it on Tozawa, they're trying to make the title make the man. They're trying, maybe if we give him the title, he'll rise to that next level. And it might happen. Tozawa's very good in the ring. He's very charismatic. I think the Titus gimmick is really good. I've said I'm a fan of the Titus gimmick. I think it's funny. It's weird as a babyface to have it.
I still don't care.
I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this whole fucking thing. Like,
is it weird that I cared more when Austin Aries was in the division?
I guess,
because he's a name. Like, he
is a name.
Give me a believable feud where I don't know what the outcome is going to be. Like that division doesn't have it.
I wish Jack Gallagher won it. Like, if this is what the end game was, Jack Gallagher was so ready when they had the match on pay-per-view. It was so good.
No,
Jack Gallagher was really good.
I don't like. No.
I will say this about this though. I will let it play out. If Tozawa gets over suddenly, I won't have an issue with it. Like, fucking, I'm a big Tozawa fan, so I hope
is he
gets
just going
over.
to continue feuding with Neville? Like, who else would you feud with right now?
Well, they'll have the match at SummerSlam, and then you move on to someone else. I don't know. I'm hearing there's going to be a big shakeup in the Cruiserweight division after SummerSlam. Not for the better, for the worse.
What does that mean?
Means that they're going to abandon the in-ring stuff. I think I said this on the podcast before, but there's rumors that they're going to move away from in-ring work and move more towards character, and Enzo will join the division, and some people in the division will get laid off. This is none of it is confirmed. These are literally just rumors that I don't even know how true they are, so don't take these with a grain of salt. But, you know, we'll let it play out.
I just feel like
we're
as much as I hate the idea of it, I feel like Enzo ending up in the Cruiserweight division is inevitable, and I fucking hate that.
I know, and he's like fucking dead already. So speaking of matches that were supposed to take place at SummerSlam that they just did on Monday for whatever reason, Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt had a match on SummerSlam.
Fuck?
This was weird. They came back from commercial and they were brawling backstage, which I thought was cool. That reminded me of like an Attitude Era type deal where it was like, oh shit, something's going on right now. Like, I got to pay attention.
Yeah.
Kurt Angle was like, fuck it. We're having the match right now.
Can I just say something right now about Kurt Angle? How did his acting skills go backwards?
Dude,
like,
what the fuck happened?
It's so bad. Like, it's so bad. And he used to be so good and so natural. He was a natural.
But, dude, he was so good at the Hall of Fame, too. Do you remember his Hall of Fame speech?
Yes.
It was like the place was going wild. He was doing all his old gimmicks. He was drinking the milk.
Yeah.
We were having a great time. And then he was the general manager, and it was like I swear it's like Get Out, another movie you didn't see.
No, I did see it.
You did see Get Out.
Yes.
He has that 1,000-yard stare. If you take a picture of Kurt Angle with flash photography, he's going to be like, Get Out!
Yeah, it's bizarre because if you go back and watch all the shit that he used to do with like Edge and Christian, it was gold. It was
so
gold.
good.
But now it's just I can't buy into the moment, the seriousness of the moment because of Kurt Angle.
He's got the glossy eyes. Like, it is. every time he's on screen, I'm just so distracted. I'm like, what happened?
Yeah.
What happened to you, Kurt? Who hurt you?
Yeah, it's
I told
wild.
you I watched SmackDown this week, an old SmackDown from 2002. It was the one headlined by Hogan and Brock, where Brock just hugged the life out of him. And it opened up with Angle versus Cena in an awesome match. Then it went into this 6-man involving Rey Mysterio, and Angle had a line. Some of these lines from early SmackDowns did not age well. It's just such a racist line towards Rey Mysterio.
God. Yeah, what did he say?
He's like, Ray 619s him, pins him, and he goes backstage. He's like, what the hell was that? He wasn't even the legal man. And he's probably not legal in this country. And I was like, ooh, Kurt, come on, man.
Kurt was a awesome heel. The way that Kurt
He's an
Angle,
awesome babyface. He was one of the greatest of all time.
yeah, but his heel work was phenomenal because he would go out and cut these promos that were very city targeted wherever he was, and he would just shit on the entire city, and they were hilarious.
And it was
every single
creative too.
time.
It wasn't just like cheap heat. Like he got really creative with it.
Yeah, it was excellent.
So going back to Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt, they make the match for Monday. They have the match. It's pretty good. Like for what it was a short TV sprint. Wyatt took some cool bumps. He took like some cool bumps on the outside that I was like, all right, I could dig this. And then after the match, Wyatt wins clean, and I was like, why the fuck are we doing this? Is this literally just to be like, Finn can't beat Wyatt unless he's the demon, and this is how we're setting up the Demon King for Sunday? The lights go out. The lights come back on, and Bray Wyatt's dumping blood, if we want to call it that, on Finn Balor. It's like weirdly homoerotic. Not that there's anything wrong with that. It's 2017, but it's like Finn Balor's just laying there as Bray Wyatt's dumping blood on him, and he's got this weird reaction as if it's like acid burning him, and he's like swimming in it, and he's got these wide eyes. And I'm sitting here in the office next to Trent with this on one screen and Bachelor in Paradise on the other screen, and I realized I'm more embarrassed to be watching this than I am Bachelor right now.
Yeah, I mean, so you made the point about Bray Wyatt beating Finn Balor clean. I saw that, and I was like, really? Like, now you kind of you ruin the finish to the SummerSlam match, because obviously he's not going to lose clean twice.
I know.
Like, at least have some sort of, like, dirty finish.
Dude, this feud was going so well until this, and by so well, I mean, like, it was a Bray Wyatt feud that didn't make me cringe. I was just like, yeah, all right. Like, we're doing Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, and now it's the fucking Demon King versus the Eater of Worlds and blood, and this is awesome, and goat masks, and all right, like let's simmer down.
I don't mind all the extra stuff with Bray Wyatt. Like, it obviously adds to his character, but
they should have done Ultimate Warrior Papa Shango curse.
Yeah, they should have. Like, the way that they
Finn Balor should have been projectile vomiting into Kurt Angle's face backstage.
That was an all-time moment, though.
Yeah.
Like, that wasn't mocked at the time.
No, that was that. I think that scared the shit out of my brother.
Yeah.
My brother's the biggest Ultimate Warrior mark in the world, and he would tell me, like, oh, you don't fuck with Papa Shango.
Yeah, I mean, it's obviously showed now on, like, funny highlights, but, like,
it's
at
hysterical.
the time, it was not, like, mocked or anything.
God, no, that scared the life into children.
But, yeah, it was just, can they not say that it's blood? Because I remember, like, after the segment, you had Corey Graves, like, explaining that it wasn't blood, it was like some acidic substance. Yeah,
it's ketchup.
It's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, just say he dumped goat's blood on him. Like, why can't we say that now?
The other thing is, how the fuck would Corey Graves know whether it's blood or not?
It's true.
It's like SummerSlam 2013, Bray Wyatt's first match ever against Kane, the Ring of Fire match. One of the worst matches of all time. Where the finish was that the Wyatt family, this Ring of Fire is supposed to keep the Wyatt family out. They throw a mat over the fire, slide into the ring, and Michael Cole goes, oh, everybody knows that's the asbestos mat. Everyone's like, what? Nobody knows that.
No
what
one
the fuck
knows
are you
that.
talking about? That's what this reminded me of.
Yeah.
But now we get the Demon Balor, Demon King versus the Eater of Worlds on Sunday.
You're down on the whole Demon King thing.
I'm down on it because I don't like the way it's been portrayed on the main roster.
You're
I loved it in
Nancy.
NXT. I'm very excited for the Demon entrance. I'm very excited for the Demon paint. I was at the second show where he ever did Demon paint in WWE. I'm a huge Finn Balor guy.
Yeah.
I just don't think he should be promoted as the Demon King. Like, the matchup screen was like the Demon Finn Balor. Just promote it as Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. We know. Like, keep things subtle. I'm a big subtle guy.
Mm-hmm.
Just like We know he'll be wearing the paint. He's not a different person when he's wearing the paint. It's just war paint. Imagine if Braveheart, they were like, oh, he put the blue stripe on. That means he's the fucking warlock Braveheart. Like, no, come on. It's war paint.
But it's SummerSlam, and they want to make it a big production. I don't hate it. I mean, obviously,
I'm excited for the match.
Yeah.
I'll be completely honest. I'm excited for it because I hope Brooklyn gives Finn Balor more respect than they gave him last time when they debuted the Fruit by the Foot Universal Championship.
Yeah.
He deserves it.
Do you think that the finish on Raw sort of just blew the finish on some? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like he can't lose clean twice.
No. And then the main event segment was obviously the Fatal 4-Way at SummerSlam. The main event is going to be Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns versus Samoa Joe versus Braun Strowman. We had them all out here. We had security lining the ring. All the security guys were my boys from WrestlePro. Shout out WrestlePro in New Jersey.
Yeah, I saw Mark Sherman was out there.
Mark Sherman was out there. Damian Gibbs was the blonde one that took the ridiculous over-the-top bump from a punch from Braun. Dan Moff, one of the guys that trained me to be a wrestler, was out there. Who else? I'm trying to think. Chris Payne was out there. All my guys were out there. It was very, very cool to see, like, oh, shit, all the security guards are my dudes. Good for them. But they also didn't do a great job because, like, they waited to interfere until, like, half the brawl was over.
Yeah.
I don't know who gave him that direction. But the brawl didn't really do much for me. I'm a huge locker room clearing brawl guy. It's, like, my favorite thing in wrestling.
You're a big brawl guy.
But it was just, like, they almost pulled them apart too much. They, like, really
They didn't
stopped
even really
the fight.
get at each other. Yeah.
Yeah. But like, it didn't lessen my excitement for Sunday. I'm still like, this match is gonna fucking rule.
Yeah, like there was I remember the same instance where you had Brock Lesnar and John Cena literally got his face busted.
Oh, that was so awesome.
Yeah.
There's like slow motion shot of John Cena being carried to the back with his face all bloodied.
Yeah.
The Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar one is still maybe my favorite. No, we talked about this. It started in the entranceway and then made its way to the back.
Okay.
My favorite part about that one is as soon as Taker was in the ring, as soon as Lesnar's music hit, Michael Cole was like, I'm out of here! He just like ran away from the commentary table. Oh, so good. I fucking love wrestling, Jared.
It's a good time.
On SmackDown, we had an show. It was like not in the
forgettable.
sense. Yeah, it's forgettable. Like nothing was bad on it, but it was just like, all right, we're kind of coasting our way to SummerSlam. We're riding this wave. And it ended with Jinder Mahal versus John Cena. What you would expect. As good a match as John Cena could pull out of Jinder.
Mm-hmm.
And then he hit him with a top rope attitude adjustment after Jinder kicked out of the first one. Pinfall interrupted by Baron Corbin, who decided he is cashing in his Money in the Bank briefcase. And I thought, oh, wow, this is brilliant. This is the way that we don't have to see a Jinder Mahal match at SummerSlam. They're going to take it off him. This is going to heighten the hype. Everyone's going to be like, oh, shit, new WWE champion Baron Corbin versus Shinsuke Nakamura. That's how you close up that feud. What a good idea. And he got rolled up, and he lost, and the briefcase is now gone.
How disappointed were you?
I was just shocked. I wouldn't even say disappointed. If you go back, you could see my reaction live on Nate at Night. Nate did a little Periscope last night. Mm-hmm. I don't know why the fuck he was doing a Periscope, but I was like, oh, shit, cash in. And Nate put the camera on me, and I was just like, oh, you fucking idiot. You got rolled up by Jinder Mahal. The briefcase is done.
Did you for any second think that it was going to be a false cash-in?
Yes. Of course, you have to be like accustomed to that.
But he's not like
But as soon as they were like, ring the bell, I was like, all right, here we go.
Yeah, he's not, he hasn't been like threatening cash-ins. Like he's not that guy. Like that just comes out and like slaps a briefcase and, you know, says he's going to cash in, but it's like a mind game type thing, like just head on a swivel. He hasn't done that at all. And now that I think of it, has he really been like coming out with the briefcase like for his matches?
Yeah, he has been. He's had the briefcase. So another thing, I heard like 2 weeks ago, Vince has soured on Baron Corbin.
Really?
And I was like, huh, I don't know if I believe that. Like, he just put the fucking briefcase on him. And Vince has been known to, like, get sour on people he gives the briefcase to. Damian Sandow was a huge one.
Oh,
They gave the briefcase to him, and they were like, we don't really want to fucking do anything with this guy. So they had Cena squash him. Even though Baron Corbin had an awesome, Damian Sandow had an awesome briefcase, the leather one that looked like a chocolate bar.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess I believe that they've soured on Baron Corbin. I wish they didn't, but here we are.
I mean,
It made for a big moment to close SmackDown. That was a genuine oh shit shocking moment.
it did, and it definitely, like you said, makes more sense if he were to take the title off of Jinder going into SummerSlam, because now you have Jinder Mahal going into the second biggest show of the year as the WWE champion.
Yep.
Not great.
Tough look.
There's been better looks.
There has been. So let's talk about SummerSlam, because we'll be there. We'll be at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn, too. We're not going to do a full preview of that. I'll just say I'm excited for the whole fucking show, because NXT TakeOver Brooklyn is kind of their WrestleMania. They have their big WrestleMania weekend shows, but I feel like Brooklyn is where, like, that was the big first big arena show. They had Bayley and Sasha on the first one. Ladder match, Finn Balor, Kevin Owens on the first one. Last year was awesome. It had that second Revival DIY match. So kind of their WrestleMania. We'll be there. If you see us, give us a shout. Say, I'm a grapple fuck.
Which is starting to catch on slowly but surely.
It really is. And now that it's catching on, I'm starting to second guess and be like, is that the best thing we could call our listeners? But yes, it is. I don't even know where to start, because I'm looking down the list of matches right here, and there's 12 matches. It's a 4-hour show, I think, with an hour pre-show added onto it. Maybe our boy Rosenberg will be on the pre-show. Fuck him. We'll start right off with the tag match that we already talked about a little bit for the Raw Tag Team Championships. Cesaro and Sheamus versus Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins. This will probably take place early in the show, I would imagine.
Really?
I think this might open the show.
I don't know.
I think it's either going to be this or AJ and Kevin Owens opening the show. I think that'd be a good call on either. Yeah. Because you need something to make the crowd super hot, and both of those matches will. Super excited for this match. Already talked about it a little bit. But I think Ambrose and Rollins are going to go over, and I think we're going to run with this tag team for a little bit.
I don't want them to win the tag titles. I want them to do well. I want them to be together, but I don't want them to be looked at as a tag team. I want them to be a partnership they're still singles wrestlers, because that's how I envisioned the Shield reunion. Was like, we're the Shield, we're together, but we're still singles competitors, like how DX was in their second reincarnation, where it was like Triple H was the WWF champion, you had the Outlaws
and
with the tag champions.
With that. I think that would be awesome. Yeah,
it's like, we're the Shield, yes. Like if anyone ever fucks with us, like you have to fuck with all three of us. But like, Roman's going after the WWE title, and you know, whatever. Like,
that would be timely too, because I'm a huge UFC guy. I could make these comparisons, but that's how it is for people that train at the same gym. They're in different weight classes, going for different titles, but they have each other's fucking backs. And they're always at each other's fights, and they're like trying to fight on the same fight card so they could be together, do the weight cut together. Like, that's how it is in the legitimate sport that this is, kind of acting like. I'm okay with Dean and Seth. I think if they win the tag titles, I think the play is you keep teasing Roman, and you keep them separated. You never do segments with them together, but you have little teases here and there where it's like, are they going to interfere in Roman's match tonight? Like, are they going to help him out? Or the play is they interfere in the main event on Sunday, because that would be a genuine
that's not
holy
a slow burn
fucking
at all.
shit. No, it's not a slow burn, but it would be like, holy fucking shit, the Shield is back.
I mean, if they won the tag titles and Roman won the Universal Championship,
that gives me chills thinking about it.
In the same night.
I'm not going to lie. That gives me chills thinking about it.
Yeah.
I don't think that'll happen. I'll say I don't think that what we just said will happen. If it did,
it would make a lot of sense.
I would go nuts.
Yeah, it would make a lot of sense. I mean, if you're Vince, right? That's how you get a massive pop. I mean, because if you want to put the title back on Roman, if he does it on his own, they're going to boo the shit out of him. But I think we
won't. We'll be the two in the crowd cheering.
Yeah, I fucking love Roman Reigns.
Yeah, he's the best.
If you were to, look at the possible outcomes. Brock Lesnar retains. Okay. I mean, that's not like I think the title is coming off of Brock.
Yeah, I think so
there
too.
will be a title change.
Yep.
Braun Strowman, that's probably your biggest pop. Samoa Joe, that's right under.
Will be a big pop.
Yeah,
like,
it would be a big pop.
That.
Roman Reigns would get the shit booed out of him unless it
was the Shield like triple power bombing Brock.
Yes.
Could you imagine?
Yes, that's how you would do it.
What a moment.
If that's the plan, is to put the title back on Roman, you can't. I mean, it's almost like they're rebuilding the relationship between Ambrose and Rollins at the perfect time to help Roman get over as a babyface champion.
It would be incredible.
Conspiracy.
Moving on to the next match. We'll talk about the next tag match for the SmackDown Tag Team Championships. The New Day against the Usos. They will defend their Tag Team Championships for the first time. Another match that we've seen a few times. I don't think that it'll lose any of its luster because of that.
I've thoroughly enjoyed this feud.
Me too. I'm a little bit worried that this will get lost in the shuffle at SummerSlam and people won't care as much because there's so many big marquee matches.
They need to have promo before the match. Like, they need to shit-talk each other and then start the match.
Yeah. So I think they're good enough to make the crowd care. Do this early in the night. Put it in a good spot. Don't put it in that fucking, like, spot where
right before the main event.
Yeah, like the dead spot. Because these two tag teams deserve a great spot. I think this will be a really good match. The other thing is, like, the other tag team title match is just so much bigger. It feels so much bigger on a scale.
Unless you space them out entirely. Like you said, if you open the show with Ambrose and Rollins against Cesaro and Sheamus, and then you do, like an hour and a half. I mean, it's a 4 fucking hour show. You can definitely space them out.
I'm curious as to see how Brooklyn reacts to the Usos. Because Brooklyn loves New Day. I've been to so many shows at the Barclays Center. New Day is probably the most over people other than, like, Enzo and Cass at the time.
Mm-hmm.
But the Usos are also so good, and Brooklyn has that, like, smarky feel where if you're a good wrestler, you're going to get cheered, unless you're Roman Reigns or John Cena. But I'm, like, excited to see what the crowd dynamic is going to be here. I think it's going to be pretty split.
You think that the Usos are going to get cheered?
Yeah, I do. I think their run has been so good that Brooklyn's kind of going to recognize that.
Interesting.
Up next, we could talk about SmackDown Women's Championship.
Yeah.
Weird fucking match. Naomi and Natalya.
Hate it.
Yeah, not a huge fan.
Not into it.
What are Becky Lynch and Charlotte doing on this show? I mean, Charlotte's very understandable. Like, she doesn't have to be on SummerSlam. She's going through some personal shit right now.
Yeah. Where is she confirmed not on this card?
She's not on this card.
Okay.
Neither is Becky Lynch, the two best workers in that division by a landslide.
Which is Becky Lynch, that makes no sense.
It's like a fucking travesty that they're not on this card.
Yeah.
So, all right. Maybe Carmella cashes in. I think Carmella does cash. I don't know if she does anymore because, like, Baron just tried to cash in.
She threatened it on SmackDown.
She did. Ugh. I hope she cashes in. I think that'd be a cool moment. I'd like to be there for a cash-in. I've been there for one before. It's fun.
Which cash-in?
Rollins.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Right.
Alexa Bliss will defend her Raw Women's Championship against Sasha Banks now that Bayley is injured. Sasha and Nia had a match on Monday. Really good match. We'll talk about it in our interview next week with our big guest. He was a big fan of it. I was a big fan of it. And I think this match will be very good as long as Sasha Banks does not try something ridiculous and murder herself.
Which she probably will.
She probably will. She kind of did at SummerSlam last year. Her and Charlotte took the most ridiculous bumps. I think that match was early on in the show, and I loved it. And then I went back and watched it, and I was like, that was kind of sloppy as fuck.
Yeah, it's because they want to keep raising the bar, and I respect that.
So do I. Did you see Alexa Bliss and Sasha finally publicly saying, "Yeah, we hate each other"?
They said that?
Yeah, they did interviews, and Sasha was like, "Yeah, we don't get along." And then Alexa was asked for her comments on it, and she was like, "Listen, I'm just trying to be professional. I'm trying to have a good match. If she feels the way she does, I don't care." And it was like, the tone both of them used was like, oh, these people fucking hate each other.
But at least, Alexa Bliss is professional enough to know that it'd be a bad look on her, or even Sasha to just... Actually, no. Now that I think of it, they should let reality flow over into the product.
Yes,
it's like it's not exactly the same as Edge and Matt Hardy, but I mean, that was one of the best feuds of all time because
Agreed.
It was real,
and one of the most underrated feuds of all time.
Yeah.
I feel like people don't give that feud enough credit. Like people in the wrestling circle, obviously. Let's talk about this match that we don't give a fuck about.
Okay,
Randy Orton versus Rusev.
Yeah, it's just like, oh, these guys need a match in the card, so they might as well have a match with each other.
Yep, a little insulting that these people made the card and other people didn't. Not Rusev. Rusev's been working his ass off, all that. Randy Orton, I'm just not into Randy Orton recently, and by recently I mean for the past 3 years.
I like Randy Orton. I'm a big Randy Orton guy.
I've never been huge on Randy Orton. I think he's really fucking good. I think he's and one of the all-time workers, obviously. The way he doesn't give a fuck rubs me the wrong way. When I see so many people on this card that like will give their life to wrestling, and then Randy Orton be like, "Yeah, I'll phone it in, have like a 2-minute match."
That's like his style, though. Like the fact that it's almost like the Daniel Bryan Miz thing, when it's like, yeah, like you wrestle a certain style, and that's why you have such longevity. Like Daniel Bryan is not in the company anymore because of the style that he wrestled. Randy Orton wrestles a safer style.
You know, Daniel Bryan might be back in wrestling soon. We'll talk about that later in our interview with Brie Bella.
Ooh, okay.
The Cruiserweight Championship rematch, Akira Tozawa will defend against Neville. You got to assume that he's retaining here, right?
I'm not assuming that. No.
No? You think Neville could win it back?
I do think that, yes.
Would you prefer him to win it back?
Yes. I just don't, like I said, I don't buy anyone in the Cruiserweight division as being a champion other than Neville.
For my own personal, like, what would I enjoy watching for the next few months? It would be a Neville title reign. I love his heel title reign.
Just give me someone that he can feud with that I can like sink my teeth into here.
I just think if Tozawa loses it here, he's dead. Like if Tozawa loses,
not unless there's some fuckery. Like maybe
fuckery. Yeah,
there could be some fuckery.
You could have some fuckery, I guess.
Yeah, not every match is just going to be like a clean wrestling match. That's just not how it works. Yeah, there's got to be some fuckery. You got to factor in some fuckery with Carmella in the women's title match.
Mm-hmm.
I would factor in some fuckery in the Fatal 4-Way Universal Championship match.
You know where I would factor in some fuckery?
Where?
In the Big Cass versus Big Show match,
you
where
don't have
Enzo
a guy
will be suspended above the ring in a shark cage.
Yep. You don't have a guy in a shark cage and have him just be there for the whole match. It just doesn't make sense.
This is the worst stipulation. It's so bad. I've never seen a shark cage match where I was like, let's go, shark cage. Well, although, actually, the
Chris Jericho one.
The Chris Jericho one is very good.
That was great.
I take that back. But it's just so, like, what's Enzo going to drop to the Big Show to help him win? Brass knuckles so he could hit the knockout punch on Cass and win. Like, Enzo's going to drop something. Maybe just drop Enzo. See what happens.
Yeah.
Drop the whole cage into the ring.
I mean, we were talking earlier, not this particular episode, but it might have been either last week or the week before, about Enzo having some heat backstage.
Yeah.
You don't think that, I mean, I don't know. Obviously, I have zero inside sources when it comes to WWE. Actually, I lied. I have some, but I don't tap into them. But the fact that this is Brooklyn and Enzo is suspended above the ring in a cage, don't you sort of see that? Like, I sort of read between the lines on, like, punishment when it comes to guys either jobbing or doing stupid gimmicks. Like, right now, Enzo went from one of the hottest acts in the company to being suspended above the ring while Big Cass has a high-profile match.
And Big Cass kind of referenced it on his promo on Monday Night Raw, where he said, Enzo's pissing off everyone backstage seemingly every day. And, like, wink, wink, hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Enzo has heat backstage.
Yeah.
And he kind of fucked up the Big Show's hand on Monday, too, with the club. We didn't really talk about that. Cass might be, like, the leader of the club, which I hope they stick together. I don't know if I would want him to be, like, the fucking leader of the club, but if you give Cass kind of a mafia boss gimmick where he's... I
like that.
You have to get through the club to get to him, I would really dig that, and I think it would help him to kind of hone his craft of the heel promo and the heel in-ring work. I'm really big on Big Cass right now. I think he's doing a good job. I think this feud sucks. I think it's going to hurt Enzo drastically, but I think Big Cass has a big future.
Like, I think, like, right now, obviously we know that Big Cass is a singles competitor after the split with Enzo, but he's not out of the gate yet. It's like a horse race, and it's like the split should have been him coming out of the gate. Right now, he's still in the gate. Like, I think he needs to move past this feud with the Big Show before it's like, all right, let's see what singles Cass is going to do.
If he gets past this, he will be big. If he doesn't, his career's over. There's no in between there. That's
pretty dramatic.
It's a little dramatic.
I think he can rebound. I don't even think it's not even a downer. It's just like, all right, like, I'm waiting. I get it. Like, you're building yourself up as the singles guy. I'm not into this particular feud, but I do have high hopes for where it could go still. Like, I'm not down on it.
Let's talk another match with some fuckery. AJ Styles will defend his United States Championship.
Wow, you smell fuckery on this one?
Oh, yeah. Special guest referee? You think it's going to go right down the middle?
I forgot.
AJ Styles will defend against Kevin Owens, and Shane McMahon, the commissioner of SmackDown, will be the special guest referee.
You think Shane's going to fuck over Kevin Owens?
I'm not sure because...
He super kicked him in the face
Kevin
on
Owens
SmackDown.
super kicked him in the face, much like my super kick WrestleMania weekend.
Yeah.
Guy moved out of the way. It's a classic.
You sold it better.
You fucking... I mean, you get caught sometimes. That's the life you choose. But AJ Styles also backflip kicked him in the face, and I had to explain that to Trent, who's not a wrestling fan. He's like, "What happened there?" I was like, when you get like mad at a coworker, and your boss separates you, but then you do a backflip and go to kick your coworker in the face, but you kick your boss in the face by accident. He's like, "Oh yeah, classic." Hopefully they pull out all the stops for this match, because we've spoken about how AJ Styles and Kevin Owens, two of the best workers in the company, they just don't click in the ring. Something about them, and their matches are always good. They're just
fluid.
They're just not great.
Yeah, there's no like holy shit moments, but I think that they're fluid enough.
You would expect it from these two. You would expect when these two get in the ring, it's like an absolutely unbelievably amazing match. It just never is. And this one has the potential to be, with Shane O'Mac in the ring. I don't know what he's going to be doing. You go back to the promo that Kevin Owens cut where Shane was like, "I'm going to call it right down the middle." And he's like, "We can make a network collection of you being the special guest referee and not calling it down the middle. You don't call it down the middle." So here's a fun bet we can make for the Grapple Fucks.
Okay.
Will there be a trash can involved in this match?
Oh, okay.
I'm saying yeah.
You think so?
I'm saying somehow, some way, will be a trash can pulled from under the ring.
Shane's going coast to coast with the trash can?
I'm not saying Shane's going coast to coast. Maybe AJ's going coast to coast. Maybe Kevin's going. I don't know.
I don't know if he's got
Fuck it. Maybe Kevin's going coast to coast.
That would be wild. That would be wild. Do you think? I mean, it's got to be. It's probably not going to be Shane. Like, it's going to be paying homage to Shane McMahon.
It'd be crazy if Kevin does something to piss Shane off and Shane holds the trash can for AJ going coast to coast. Oh, it would be awesome.
It would be. I just, there's got to be a big spot. There's going to be a table spot. There's going to be a trash can spot.
Does Shane take a huge bump, you think?
It's Shane. If
like,
he's going
like
to,
from the top rope to the outside?
But what would his motivation be as a special guest referee to do something that crazy?
To like set up an elaborate spot?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I'm really confused. I think he fucks over Kevin Owens, by the way. I think this is going to build to that Kevin Owens feud down the line. So I'm going to predict AJ wins this one.
Okay.
What do we got up next? We could talk Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt up next.
Hold on. You think that Shane McMahon is going to fuck over Kevin Owens to set up a match when?
At WrestleMania.
WrestleMania. So that like way, way, way down the line.
Yep.
Like not even like the Rumble. Like I feel like that would be like a Rumble match.
Maybe you do Rumble. I think it's going to be the Survivor Series thing where it'll be like, if they don't do Team Raw versus Team SmackDown, which I almost feel like they should do. That was so much fun last year. Then you do it Team AJ or Team Kevin Owens versus Team Shane. It's like a team of heels on SmackDown versus Shane's fucking guys.
Shane's been... So, when Shane came back, he was an automatic babyface because everyone was excited for him to be back.
Yeah.
Shane's a great heel.
Ooh, you think maybe Shane turns heel?
What if...
That would be sick.
What if Shane and KO are on the same page here to fuck over AJ Styles?
I would dig that. I would be down.
Yeah.
Especially, I would like the dynamic between Shane and Daniel Bryan. Daniel Bryan is the face GM being like, what the fuck, but not really being able to say anything because Shane's still his boss.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be good.
It's a little something.
That is a little something. All right, we could talk Finn Balor versus Bray Wyatt. We already pretty much touched on everything we could touch on. Finn Balor's going to do a really cool demon entrance. Yep. We're all going to do the, you can't see me, but I just did the arms out. Mm-hmm. We're all going to do that. And Finn Balor's going to beat him.
Yep.
We could talk about John Cena versus Baron Corbin. Another match that's kind of just thrown together to get John Cena on the card.
Don't care. I don't care. The fact that the cash-in fucks up everything. Like, there's a ripple effect because of the failed cash-in where,
there is.
Like, at least if John Cena beat Baron Corbin, it's like, oh, okay, we might see the cash-in tonight. Mm-hmm. You took away the briefcase. I don't care about John Cena and Baron Corbin's match. Like, what is their feud? Like, what are they mad at each other about? I don't know.
Baron Corbin attacked John Cena like during 205 Live once or something.
Yeah, it's like for John Cena, and you mentioned this before about how John Cena is like Mr. SummerSlam.
Yeah,
and we're going to talk about this later too. The cream of the crop this week is our favorite SummerSlam match. You said John Cena. Brock Lesnar has had many great SummerSlam matches. Like I would
Brock
argue
Lesnar's a beast, yeah.
Yeah, I would argue that he's up there. And the third guy, Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle's had a lot of great SummerSlam matches.
Yep, as well as CM Punk.
True. Not as many, but I would say
not as many, but his matches at SummerSlam are really, really, really good.
Jeff Harvey.
Jeff Harvey, yep. This match, I think Cena goes over. If he does one of his indie tribute matches like he was doing for the U.S. title Open Challenge, it'll be great. I think this will be a pretty quick match, though. I think this will be closer to his WrestleMania match this year with The Miz, where like he's going to get heat put on him, come back, it's over.
I mean, how are you going to have Baron Corbin lose to Jinder Mahal in about 5 seconds and then legitimately go 20
Cena
minutes
might put him
with
over, actually.
John Cena? Really?
It's a fucking unless Vince really soured on
he had to
Baron
have.
Corbin.
How are you going to put Baron Corbin over John Cena, clean or otherwise? And that's sort of like a launching pad when you already had the launching pad. It was the fucking briefcase, and you just took it away and buried any sort of momentum that Baron Corbin had.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make sense to have Corbin go over John Cena after the briefcase thing. Maybe it's because it's like, oh, it's a twist. Like, you don't expect Corbin to go over Cena because, he got rolled up, going to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. But if you were going to elevate Corbin, it doesn't make sense to just knock him down 20 pegs to bring him up 5 pegs.
Agreed. But this is another, I'm very excited for SummerSlam because I don't really know what's going to happen in a lot of these matches. It's the first pay-per-view in a while where I don't feel like the whole card is so predictable. Going to a match where I hope I'm predicting this correctly. Jinder Mahal will defend his WWE Championship against Shinsuke Nakamura. Please take this fucking title off Jinder Mahal. Please, for the love of God, take this title off Jinder. Put it on Shinsuke. I know he's not doing great right now.
No.
He's not connected with the crowd.
Nope.
If you look up Shinsuke Nakamura on Twitter, the search results that come up are overrated, not that good, bad. I don't give a fuck. I know how good he is. I know if you let him wrestle the style he can wrestle, he will provide great fucking matches. And he proved it WrestleMania weekend when he worked Bobby Roode. That match was great. Place was going bananas, as Dave would say. Just fucking take the title off Jinder. Put the title on anyone. Put the WWE Championship on T.J. Perkins for all I care.
Jesus.
Take it off Jinder Mahal.
See,
I'm so fucking tired. Take it off Jinder Mahal. Release him from the company. He's so bad. Sign this. Give it to the Singh brothers. Remember when Lay Cool won the women's championship and split it in half? I want the Singh brothers to be WWE champion before Jinder Mahal. He is so bad.
You are very passionate about this particular topic.
I'm just so fed up. It's been going on for months. I've been putting up with it. All right, people are like, wait it out. All right, I will. Okay, I haven't seen one match from this guy that suggests that he can have more wrestling skill than a broom.
No, he's definitely not put on any matches that were exciting or that I was
skill
invested
either.
in.
You hate me because of my skin color. You hate me because of my language.
Yeah.
Let me speak the language of my people.
Punjabi.
Oh, he's the fucking worst, dude.
Yeah, it's definitely been a very poor title run for Jinder Mahal. I just think that Shinsuke Nakamura is a name.
There you go.
And
yep.
I don't want to happen to him what happened to Bayley.
Me neither, and it's a tough situation because he wins the title off Jinder.
But we can elaborate here. We don't want his first title victory to be so forgettable.
I know.
And beating Jinder Mahal, that's not a rub that goes you don't get a rub from beating Jinder.
And I'm gonna say it right here. This is maybe the only match on the card where I'm expecting a bad match. I don't think this is gonna be a good match.
Really?
I really don't. I don't think Jinder's a good wrestler. I've made that very clear. I think Nakamura is very good, and I think he's being told to wrestle a certain style that does not benefit him. I think Jinder's going to put a lot of heat on Nakamura. He's going to do his comeback, hit a few kicks, get the Singh brothers up on the apron, distract them, maybe throw the Singh brothers out, and Nakamura will hit the Kinshasa and beat him for the title. I don't expect much. This, if it's decent, it will have exceeded my expectations.
That's a lot of title changes, though, don't you think? We're predicting multiple title changes. I don't think that there's going to be that many.
We're predicting what are we predicting?
I had Kevin Owens beating AJ Styles.
Yeah, I don't have Kevin Owens beating AJ Styles.
I do.
I just have one title change on the whole show.
With the Shane heel turn,
with
the
Raw
tag titles.
championships. And you think Neville's going to win back the Cruiserweight title?
Yep.
I don't think so. I think there's going to be 3 title changes on the show. It'll be Nakamura beating Jinder. It'll be The Shield beating Cesaro and Sheamus. and it will be
the Universal title match.
the Universal title match. I'm trying to. I was
That's
gonna,
a lot of title changes.
Listen. I was gonna name someone in this Universal title match. That's what the pause was about. But I really don't fucking know who's gonna win. I was either gonna say I was gonna say Braun Strowman. Speaking from the heart, just I fucking love this guy.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna be Samoa Joe. I think SummerSlam is gonna go off the air with Samoa Joe raising that title,
I would be disappointed.
and Brock Lesnar and Paul Heyman leaving WWE, quote unquote.
That would be my least preferred outcome. Is just like a Samoa Joe.
Lesnar retaining would be my least preferred outcome.
I wouldn't mind that, just because I don't want Lesnar to go away.
I want my champ on Raw every week. That's how I feel right now. We saw the Lesnar title reign already. It's tiring. It's like I'd like to see the Universal title on Raw every week, like my champ cutting promos. Samoa Joe has been getting a big push recently. Apparently Lesnar loved working with him. Heyman made a big push for them to do a rematch at SummerSlam. They wound up with this match. I think Braun or Roman is the right call here.
Yeah, no, 100%. Those are the two.
I think Braun is most certainly the right call. I think if you want this place to go absolutely wild and you want to make your next massive, massive superstar, you put the title on Braun Strowman and you have him fucking pin Brock Lesnar.
Like, clean.
Clean as a sheet. This match also, we said this last week. I want to be injured in my seat from this match. This match should tear down the Barclays Center. I want the stage to fall. I want limousines blowing up in the parking lot.
Mm-hmm.
I want them going everywhere. Like, take the subway. Have a camera guy go down to the subway. Have Braun and Roman Reigns like, I'm not finished with you yet. Picks up a subway car and throws it at Roman.
They should have made it a Falls Count Anywhere match.
Oh, this match is going to tear New York City to the ground.
Yeah. Like, no tables will still be standing at the end of this one.
God, no. If there are, like, I'm going to break it myself.
Didn't I ask you this before, if you thought that they were going to do the ring exploding spot in this match, and you said no?
Yeah, I said no. I mean, how would they do that? Come on.
What do you mean, how would they do that?
Well, it would be obvious, too, because you can't do it with the LED ring posts. They have to take those away to do it. So if we show up and there's no LED ring posts, that ring is going bye-bye. But I couldn't be more excited for this match. I'm as excited for this match as I was for, like, Omega Okada 3.
You get a lot of strong takes here today, Bob.
Dude, I just fucking love wrestling.
I know you do.
Get off my back.
No, I'm not saying you're wrong. You should be very excited about this match.
All right. My brain is saying Samoa Joe here. My heart's saying Braun Strowman. And I wear my heart on my sleeve, so I'm going Braun Strowman here.
And I am hoping, praying to God, that Ambrose and Rollins come out a triple powerbomb with Roman Reigns on Brock Lesnar.
Oh,
Roman
awesome.
Reigns is your new champion, and you have
fans throwing trash in the ring.
They don't put their fists in. They put their tag titles and the Universal Championship in the middle.
You just did some cinematography for him.
Yep.
Can't even speak. I'm so excited. Jesus
Christ. Instead of putting their fists in, they put all their new hardware in, and then that's how they go off the air. The Shield is back. They're all champions, and all is right in the world again.
Would be amazing. Let's hit our cream of the crop. Favorite SummerSlam match of all time. Jared, what do you got?
So I feel like I say this every fucking week. I hope we don't have the same one. I feel like we might. What was it? SummerSlam 2002, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. This
3 Stages of Hell? Is that match, or is that the street fight?
No, it was a street fight.
Okay.
Yeah, this was one of the greatest matches that either of these two Hall of Famers, or soon-to-be Hall of Famers in Triple H's case, I think this was one of their best matches that they've ever had in their entire careers. This is one of the best.
I love that match.
Yeah, one of their. The storytelling is obviously great.
It's brutal.
It's brutal because they trust each other. It's like, let's go out there and fucking let's bring the house down with this. So they pulled no punches in this particular match. If you haven't yet seen it, if you're a young listener and you've never seen Triple H versus Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam 2002. Go find it on YouTube or the WWE Network. It's one of my favorite matches of all time.
It's a phenomenal match. It's not my favorite match of all time at SummerSlam. And you say you're worried every week that we will have the same answer. I'm worried every week that people are going to go, we get it. You like Daniel Bryan. My favorite SummerSlam match of all time is Daniel Bryan versus John Cena at SummerSlam 2013.
Come on.
And right before that match is another one of it would probably be my second favorite SummerSlam match of all time.
Brock and Punk?
Brock and Punk in a street fight. This SummerSlam is my favorite SummerSlam of all time because of those two matches. On the pre-show, it has a very underrated match, Dean Ambrose versus Rob Van Dam, and it also has Cody Rhodes versus Damian Sandow on it. Check out this whole SummerSlam card. It's very good.
Yeah. Honorable mention, the first TLC ever was at a SummerSlam, right?
Oh, yeah, the tag team?
Yeah,
it was. But this Daniel Bryan, John Cena match, the whole story, the whole build into it of the fans, Team Hell No splitting up and the fans being like, I think this is Daniel Bryan's time, and like really getting behind him. John Cena being able to select his own opponent, selecting Daniel Bryan, and then the promos they cut back and forth. John Cena at his fucking best, Daniel Bryan at his best, saying, John, you're a parody of pro wrestling, and I am embarrassed that you represent this company. Vince making Daniel Bryan do like trying to make him do a makeover because he's like, I don't want you winning that title on Sunday and representing our company looking like a fucking goat. Triple H getting involved. They have the match. It is amazing, amazing start to finish, like flawless psychology the entire time. Daniel Bryan debuts his new finisher.
Right.
The knee that beat John Cena. Because John Cena can't tap out.
He can't tap out because
he never gives
quit.
Up. He never gives
never
up.
Give up.
Everybody knows that.
Yeah.
Never give up. Everybody knows the rules.
Yep.
Debuts his new finisher, and it's probably the best one he's ever hit. He hit a few on Seth Rollins when the Shield was feuding with him, where Seth would do like triple backflips that were awesome. He nails John Cena with this knee.
Yeah.
Pins him, 1, 2, 3. Little young Robbie Fox is going, please fade to black. Please fade to black. Please tell me this is just Daniel Bryan's storybook ending. They hit the fireworks. They hit the confetti. They hit everything there is to hit. And then Randy Orton comes out. Daniel Bryan eats a pedigree. 1, 2, 3. The boyhood dream has come to an end.
Done.
It's a sad, somber moment. If you watch this match, just turn it off when Daniel Bryan beats John Cena. Just turn it off. That's all you have to see. Enjoy this interview coming up with the wife and fiance, two of the people involved in that match, Brie Bella and Nikki Bella, the Bella twins. We had a great time with them. They were awesome. Check out this interview.
You can look, but you can't touch. You keep dreaming on the stars above.
And joining us now, two of the biggest guests we have ever had on the show, I
Very
think.
true.
They are massive stars. They are the stars of Total Bellas, Total Divas. They have their own YouTube channel at the Bella Twins. That's who they are, Nikki and Brie, the Bella Twins. How are you guys?
Hello. What is up?
What's going on, guys? I'm excited. We're excited to have you. This is something that we've been looking forward to for a little while here. But you know, Robbie actually has some questions for you right off the bat. We wanted to talk about everything that you guys have been doing recently because you've been off TV for a while. But to the casual wrestling fan, they think that being off TV means that you guys just sit around and do nothing. But you'd probably say that you've been more busy in the time off TV than actually on TV.
Oh my gosh, totally. You know what? It's funny. I'm traveling more now than when I was traveling for wrestling, and we're like going different cities, right? 4 days a week. But like currently, right now, Brie and I are in Las Vegas. We're at the Curve Expo / Magic Shows / Project Show for Birdie Bee. So we've been working on this line for 3 years called Birdie Brie, and we're finally going to launch in the fall. And not only that, we've been making a wine that's launching in the fall too, and filming filming YouTube videos like 1,000 times a day. It's crazy.
Well, and this is Brie. Let's be honest. I've been, popping out a baby and being a mom.
Yeah, how is the baby? How is mom life?
Oh my gosh. Well, right now I'm currently pumping because I'm away from
No
her.
joke. She literally is pumping right now next to me.
Very nice and
I don't
exclusive
know
on the
what to
podcast.
But,
Yeah.
right? But I have to say, it's the greatest thing to ever happen to me. Like, every time I look at her and she smiles at me, it's like my heart melts all over again. But now my labor was crazy, and you're going to actually see it in the season finale of Total Bellas. But my sister, actually, Nikki, was in the room with me. She held my leg as I pushed for 3 hours, which was insane. But
the craziest, by the way.
Yeah.
Don't ever, if anyone goes into labor with someone, don't ever take the leg. Just stand in the back.
I'm not even going to be anywhere near that.
Yeah,
process.
no, I won't even be in the hospital.
Yeah.
But I love it. It's cute. She's Brian's little mini-me, but she owns me. And
Nikki, you've been doing some wedding planning, I assume.
You know what's funny is John, like the other day, was like, hey, are we going to, get married? Are we going to plan this wedding? And I think because I've been so busy with everything going on, and, I'd say our careers, but my career as well, that I've kind of, not that I've lost focus on it, but like, okay, I finally have a date. I did pick a dress, but like, I haven't done anything else. And I kind of was telling John, like, look, we can be married forever, so let's just have a long engagement. I think, we're going to wait a year to get married because it's just so crazy right now. Like, I don't want our wedding to just be an appearance on our calendars. Like, I want to enjoy the few weeks going into it. I want to do a honeymoon right after. So I've done a little bit of wedding planning.
Yeah, and then obviously, I will admit this. I'm a big Total Divas guy.
Me too.
Yeah, I watch Total
Yeah.
Divas. Big Total Divas guy.
Me and my sister,
Love
it's
it.
like my guilty pleasure show. Love it.
I would watch it
I
every
like
single
being
week.
people's guilty pleasure, by the way.
Oh, it's the best.
That's my big time guilty pleasure. But there was a lot of discussion throughout the course of the entire show about how John didn't want to get married, and he had his reasons for it, and you obviously had your reasons why you did want to get married, and your family was very vocal about that. What sort of changed? Like what? Because it kind of in the weeks building up to WrestleMania, there was a lot of talk about, John's going to propose at WrestleMania. And I was like, wait a second, what's like that? He was totally against that. So what changed that, we built up to this big proposal at WrestleMania?
It was when John and I have had our talks, like for me, getting married is not about the wedding. It's not about the ring. It's not about taking someone's last name. It's about making that commitment in a very intimate setting in front of all the people that you love and just fully committing yourself like, I am vowing to be with you and only you for the rest of my life. And to me, that was the big deal about marriage. And that's what I would say to John. And I think because he, over the years, started to see like, wow, it's not the wedding tour. Like, she really means this, but she's still going to stay by my side, even though I don't want marriage. It made him just, he says he falls in love with me every day, but it made him comfortable to be like, wow, this is something she just really wants. She wants that commitment. And because, we both already would tell each other, like, we're going to be with each other forever and it's only going to be us, I think he finally was like, I'm just going to do this. And, like, what was crazy was when everyone was talking about him proposing at WrestleMania, I was like, I kind of was getting embarrassed because I know my John, and I'm like, he would, one, he's not going to propose, and two, he would never do it in front of all those people. Like, that's not John. So it was crazy because I get asked about it a lot, and I'm like, gosh, this is so embarrassing because here I'm not even going to get proposed to, and it's going to be, like, the biggest, like, bummer. But yeah, it's just, it was about the commitment, and I think that's what he fell in love with.
Now, when you're in the ring after that great match at WrestleMania against The Miz and Maurice, and John grabs the mic and he gets down on one knee, and you know what's going on, and the crowd has a mixed reaction to it. Not me. I was jumping up and down, going wild, like it was the greatest spot of all time. And there's video of that. But did you completely tune the crowd out, and that was just your moment with John, or was that like, did you have a bit of like, of course, this is what the wrestling fans are doing at WrestleMania?
You know what? I couldn't hear anyone. I was so like locked into John's eyes and every word, and I was in such shock. Like it's funny because every girl has told me, like, you can't even describe the feeling when you get proposed to. Like, it's a feeling you can't even describe. And I was like, really? And literally I understand it because I couldn't even hear the crowd. I was looking at every word John was saying, but I had to ask him again later, like, so what did you say to me? Like, I had this feeling of like shock. And then I like wanted to cry, but then I didn't want to cry because I knew I was at WrestleMania. And it was really weird, all these feelings, but like, I felt so swept away and I forgot how to breathe. Like, I go back and look at that video, and if you look, you could see like my chest like going up and down so much because I'm trying to like figure out how to breathe, but I didn't even know how to breathe in that moment. It was so crazy. But when I go back and then I've watched it, of course, so many times, I've started to hear the reactions or see what people are doing, which I would have thought we would have gotten no chant or like a lot of boos. So like so many people being behind it, I was like, wow, that was really cool. Like, because I know how the crowd's taken John and how they taken me. And so it was like watching it back, I'm like, wow, that was really cool.
That is so romantic. I hope John Cena proposes to me one day.
Oh, I know, right?
So obviously, you guys are, you have your relationships, your engagements, your marriages. Did you ever think that those would translate to on screen, or did you always think that that was going to be something that was sort of kept behind the scenes? Like, how special is it, both of you, to work with both Brian and John, like on screen?
So this is Nikki, but it's amazing. It doesn't, it's fun. And don't get me wrong, it's hard to relive those moments when we fight. And like to watch an argument all over again, you can't help but like get mad at the person again. So those are like the tough things. But I guess like, you get to work with your best friend, right? And then it doesn't feel like work. So when I'm with John filming, and I feel the same way with Bree and some of my family members, I just tune out so much the cameras, and it's like I'm just enjoying life with them, and I get paid doing it. And I just feel so fortunate for that. But like, I guess because we're so in love that I love showing our love as well. Like, this is real people, and we're in Hollywood. Like, this is crazy. So I really like to showcase that.
Yeah, and for me, I think, it's funny, when Brian and I first started reality television, we like kept telling the producers, like, we're really boring people. Like, we don't know if people like hippies. Like, we like to garden. We like to go to farm-to-table restaurants.
We have toilets outside.
Yeah, exactly. My husband wants to do all
Use
composting.
their own poop and fertilize it and grow vegetables.
Just the norm. But what we ended up realizing is how busy our lives are. Like, the fact that we could work together, like Nicole said. Like, it was like home away from home, having him being able to film Total Divas, Total Bellas. And then when we got to Storyline, when they brought me into he and Stephanie McMahon's Storyline to do that, we're like, one day we get to show now our daughter, like, mommy and daddy, like, got to make magic, on the greatest platform that we love, WWE. And to, like, be a part of that and be out there and feel the energy of the crowd for my husband, Daniel Bryan, it was just like, I'm like, these are the moments when we're grandparents that we're going to be talking about.
Birdie is so going to hate Kane, Bree. Oh, my goodness. Kane, yeah, he tried to drag you under the ring.
Yeah, but he was a good hugger to Brian.
Yeah.
Might not hate him too much.
Yeah. So kind of shifting focus to the actual like wrestling aspect of your careers, I have something kind of a revelation. I think it will be for Nikki. I had a conversation with Mauro Ranallo where I convinced him that you were doing your forearm in tribute to Misawa, the Japanese wrestler. And
Yeah.
I requested that the next week on television, he calls the forearm the Nikki Sawa forearm. And he did, and then it stuck. So I've kind
Yes.
of, I think, I don't want to take too much credit for it, but I think I named the Nikki Sawa forearm.
You should take full credit. That is crazy that you're the one that came up with that.
Yeah, I told Mauro, and I think he like legitimately believed that you were like paying tribute to Misawa at the time.
You know what's funny is I actually had a few conversations with him backstage, and I was wondering what he was talking about. But I'm like, oh, I mean, I've never said that before, but so that's totally where it came from.
Yeah, that's on me. Sorry about that if you don't love the name, but
No, are you kidding me? That's an honor. I love it.
Yeah. I was rocking my.
forearm.
I had a custom made shirt for WrestleMania that said "Fearless Nikki, Queen of Strong Style." Got a lot of looks in the crowd.
That is amazing. Can you please send me that photo?
Oh, absolutely!
Yeah.
I'll send you the photo. It's me in front of the ring, and it's a sick shirt. Everyone was like, "Where can you buy that shirt?" I was like, "Sorry, you can't."
You can't.
Oh my God, I love it.
But that whole, I feel like when you guys feuded starting at SummerSlam, both of your careers kind of like really launched after that. Like, you guys were obviously huge stars, but from an in-ring standpoint, I feel like both of you improved so much. Was there a conscious effort at that time to really ramp up the in-ring stuff because maybe the Divas Revolution was starting and you were like, we better stay on top of this, not let anything pass us by? Or
Yeah, 100%. I think, for Bree and I, what really helped us was that we finally got to be individuals, and we didn't have to talk at the same time and wear the same things and do stuff that was so in sync. And I think also when you become more and more, like, Bree and I for a while felt like we didn't know how to use our voice, and like we just always followed the rules. So when girls like didn't want you to wrestle a certain way, we just, instead of fighting with it, we just kind of went with it. And I think Bree and I finally had our own voice, and it was like, this is how I'm going to wrestle. And if you think it's strong, well, guess what? I could legit beat you up, so I'm going to do it. Like, this is who I am. And I finally Fearless Nikki came because I finally got to be myself. And I feel like, Brie mode, it was the same. Like, we got to be who we were, and we got more time to wrestle. And honestly, when you get more time to wrestle, NXT is the best proof of that. It makes you better. Like, you can't just always have 2-minute matches and expect, to be these top superstars. So we finally were getting to wrestle on live events. We were able to wrestle for 20 minutes. And then on TV, we were able to have 2 segments and go into commercial breaks and know what that was like in front of a live crowd. And I think that really helped us take it to another level, and having the pressure on top of it, because if we failed, it would go away, right? So having that added pressure of like, well, we better kill it and get some of the top ratings on TV tonight, or get the crowd involved, because we want to continue this.
Yeah, and for everything Nikki just said is spot on. And also, it was like, for us starting to date our men, it was all of a sudden, I told Brian, I'm like, Brian, no one will just work with me. And so he and I started going to the building. We were on the road 5 days a week. We'd go in early, and I would just train with him. And, I mean, to the point, Brian's like, okay, run the ropes for like 30 minutes straight. I was like, I hate you, but okay. And, and I just told Brian, I'm like, Nicole and I both wanted to get better. But I was like, there's so much where you just come back and they just give you a thumbs up, and you're like, okay, they don't really care. But I was like, Brian, I want to make them care. Like, I want constructive criticism. I want to grow as like a wrestler. Like, help me. And Nicole would do that with John, and it's crazy how both our men help take us to the next level.
Right. And you guys have a very strong presence on social media, and I'm always noticing, a lot of of your fans are still posting pictures of themselves wearing Brie mode stuff and Fearless Nikki stuff. Do you guys do you have the itch to come back? Because obviously everyone listening to this right now wants to know the answer to that question.
Oh my gosh, 100%. I mean, I wish I could have my comeback again this Sunday at SummerSlam. I would do it in a heartbeat if my neck was healed. But, for me, I have to wait till my bone fully fuses. I don't know. I think some people know, but you'll get to see it actually on Total Bellas. But I got injured 2 weeks before WrestleMania, and they were going to pull me from the match, the mixed tag match. And then I got cleared literally Wednesday before Mania. But I had slightly herniated the disc above where I had surgery. So when I had to go get all my scans and x-rays, then they realized that my bone wasn't fully fused on my neck, or in my neck. And so to get back in the ring, I have to wait for that to fully fuse. So it is like killing me not getting back into that ring, especially like when you just see certain things and you're like, I want to get in there and do it. And for Brie, oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, I was like, hopefully right when Nikki's neck is fused, I will lose all my baby weight. I actually just started back into the ring because I was like, you know what, Nicole, I'm like, I think we can make it to the Royal Rumble. And I think, like early 2018, I think 2018 could be the Bella's year, but we both promised each other that when we come back, which we're going to, it's going to be together. Because the last couple years, it was like she was injured, so it was just me, and then I left and it was just her. But it's like the Bella twins need to come back together again, backflip into the ring, and just kick some ass.
That would be unreal.
So I'm really interested to hearing the answer to this particular question right here, because you guys have accomplished so much. Pretty much everything that you could accomplish in the company, both of you have collectively accomplished. But do you think that we'll ever see the day that the WWE has women's tag team titles? And is that something that you'd eventually want to see and obviously win between the two of you?
Hell yes. So I honestly think it's sooner than later that WWE will do tag team titles. I think they would be amazing to have on Raw because it's a 3-hour show. So I think there's definitely time. There's a good amount of time that we could showcase it on Raw. But I just think it involves more girls. Like, for me, the one thing that I'm missing out on each brand, and they're kind of doing this into SummerSlam, which I'm like, finally, like, thank goodness. But I feel like for the past year, the championships have been too focused on, like, group stories. Everything's a fatal 5-way or, it's a triple threat. Like, I want to see one-on-one for the title because those stories really draw me in. Like, when I came back, I worked with Carmella and then I worked with Natty, and those stories get so real. And so I'm missing that a bit with the championship. So I think if we go back with that with the SmackDown and Raw Women's Championship, then you bring in the tag titles, and that gives all the other girls who aren't in those stories and then have them fight for that. And that's how I feel like is a great way to get more girls involved and have more meaningful stories. So I am like, can you get the tag team titles ASAP, please? Because I get lost in single stories, and I think that's what they give the guys so much, is when it's a championship, it's usually a one-on-one situation.
Yeah, we couldn't agree more on that.
Yeah, and the girls have been killing it, and it's proof in the ratings. So you just, like, come on, Vince, like, go with it. It'll work.
Yeah, so before we let you go, Bri, I just have to ask you this because Daniel Bryan, your husband, is my favorite wrestler of all time. Like, not even close, by far. Been following his career since the independence in, like, 2009, all the way up. And he's showing a lot of interest in stepping back into the ring, whether it's not in WWE if they don't want to clear him. Are we going to see your reaction to that on Total Bellas this season, or how do you feel about that?
So, I told Brian, literally my husband, since the day they told him he had to retire, I'm not kidding you, like weeks later, he started going to doctors on his own being like, how can you help me? And from that moment, which was, like pretty much 2 years ago, he has been doing every kind of testing to every kind of experience or experiment you can imagine for the brain. And he actually found one, and it's this oxygen hyperbaric chamber or something. Sorry. But he is so dedicated. I told Nicole, I'm like, he flies himself all over this country to get these treatments. He is already done 40 treatments. I'm like, this is passion and dedication. And I told Brian, I'm like, you do have a daughter. So, like, always remember that. But if the doctors finally give you the green light, I go. Like, this is your dream and passion. You have one life to live, and I will never hold you back because I love to wrestle. And I would hate if someone told me, like, you can't do it. And if WWE doesn't allow it, then I said go somewhere else. Like, it's all on you. And obviously he would love to be able to get back in that WWE ring, but I know for a fact my husband's going to find his way back to the ring. Like, he honestly is.
Yes!
Wow. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining us. You could catch the Bella Twins on Twitter at Bella Twins. They'll be back with Total Bellas on September 6th. And, of course, their YouTube channel is youtube.com/the Bella Twins. You could check up all the Birdie B updates are going to be there, I'm sure, and wedding planning and mom life, all of it. You can catch them. They pretty much live their lives in the public.
That's right, we do.
Thank you so much for coming on, guys.
Thank you so much. You guys
Thank
rock.
you for having us.
Thanks, guys. All right, so I want to thank the Bella Twins, Nikki and Bree, for coming on with us today. That was great. You did a great job, Bob. I was rooting for you. I know that this was an interview that was it will forever hold a special place in your heart, and in mine as well. In mine as well. But for you, I know that this was a big one for you.
This
was
one
so
of your,
huge for me. What do they call them? White whales?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
Big white whale. 2 white whales. Nikki Bella, the queen of strong style. Just such a huge fan. Brie Bella, they told us some cool stuff. I think they liked us, Jared.
They did. I think that, we had it. We had good interview in-ring psychology there. We knew how to weave in and out of. We asked questions that we knew what we were doing there.
We fucking knew what we were doing. And
yeah.
If any of you motherfuckers tweets me and said, Robbie, I could hear how nervous you were in your voice, I will come to your house like the end of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back and beat the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So tune in next week. If you see us at SummerSlam, say hey. If you see us at NXT, say hey. We'll be back on Monday morning for a SummerSlam recap. It'll probably be a long show because SummerSlam is long as fuck. Make sure you subscribe on iTunes, subscribe on Spotify, Stitcher, whatever the fuck else we're on. Leave us that 5-star review like we're Omega Okada 3. And we'll see you next week.
Later, bye.